Tennessee, 1980.
All right, thanks, Phil. Get the picture. Georgia in white tops, red pants, red helmets, black numerals. Hancock, Daniels, and Barry. Tony Hancock, a flyer, is the deep man for Tennessee. Tennessee all in orange, orange tops, orange bottoms, white helmets, white numerals and trim. Been a little tiny, thin favorite, despite the loss of 3 starters in recent days out of that line. Robinson kicks off. Welcome to football. Biggest crowd south of Ann Arbor, Michigan to ever see a game. Deep in the end zone, down there. Robinson kicked the dog out of that ball. Hancock went way back to the last 6 inches of the end zone and went down in one knee. Tennessee is in an eye. The flanker's in within a yard or two, and he's in there pretty tight. Now they got one out wide to the left. It's almost a slot. Dogs are in a 5 with gaps in the middle, and they go to Daniels. Coming in the middle, he fumbled the ball. We hit him on a 23. We might have the ball on a 24. Terry Daniels had it smacked out of his hand. Dogs come up jumping and hollering. Jimmy Payne of Athens, Georgia came up waving with that football. Pat McShay, I think, from Anderson, South Carolina, may have been the first hit.
The ball just seemed to almost bounce into Jimmy Payne's hands, Larry, and he was really in the right spot at the right time. Great break for Georgia. Now they'll have the football as they come up to the line, and Hugh Nall goes over the ball at center.
Georgia is 3rd down, 6.5 there on the Tennessee 20.5. Arnold wide left. Lindsey Scott's come out to the right. Womack and McMickens are running back. Tennessee now is in a 4-4. And Buck going to turn around, run the end around reverse to Arnold. And they're going to meet him on the 20. He dropped the ball, and Tennessee's got the ball on the 20. 3rd down, long yardage. Tennessee determined to hold her in a 4-4 defense. Georgia on the 19 or 18.5. Fumble, and we pile on it on the 20-yard line. Has Tennessee got the ball? Yes, they have. We fumbled again in the same spot. Chris Wamper, the left tackle's got it. Never got to the running back or whatever we were going to do. The exchange between the center and the quarterback, not quite true. We have fumbled twice between the Tennessee 20 and 21. Official paid attendance tonight, 95,288. And that shattered an awful lot of attendance records south of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Tennessee 2nd down, a long 11. They're on the 19 in the I. 2 men split. Georgia right now in a 5-2. Oshevsky going to run a draw. He got a little hole. 25-30. Up to the 35. Glenn Ford to run back. Tennessee ran a draw and opened a hole at their own left guard, left tackle. Big hole. And he got 16 yards. Robert Miles, defensive end from behind, and Chris Welton, our overback, got him. And Tennessee gets a 1st down and gets out of that spot. We've come down there twice close. They gave it to us once. We marched it 40-odd yards the next time and coughed it up. Couldn't even look at a field goal or anything. This might be the quarter. You can't tell from the way they're acting. Yes, it is. That's the end of the quarter. Tennessee and Georgia, 0-0. No score. Tennessee has fumbled themselves in a hole. Georgia's fumbled twice on 3rd down out around the 20 or 21 down there that deep. And once on a 45-yard drive, exploded down to a 1st down on the 10.5, and then went backwards for a couple of plays. Tennessee's deep man is Bates, Bill Bates. Gaines and Duncan are the backs about 12, 14 yards in front of him. Tennessee's got 8 men on the line. Happy going to snap it to Broadway. Good snap. Broadway kicks, bad kick off the right side of his foot, little 20-yarder or less. Broadway shanked it off the right side of his foot. Georgia has put themselves in a very bad hole out around the 37 or 38. Had a good snap and had no pressure.
Well, they had one man coming from the side, and that may have bothered him just a little bit.
Dogs are in a 5. Olszewski dropping back to throw. Got some time. He's coming out to the right, running on across the 45. He throws on a run, and it's complete on the 3-yard line. He had a man wide open. He almost missed him. Willie Galt. Kid out of Griffin, Georgia. Down to the 4-yard line, and Galt had to turn around and catch it off his shoe tops. 31 yards.
Actually, the fullback was wide open in the middle. Olszewski passed him up when he saw Galt get behind the secondary.
Payne and Eddie Weaver and Frank Ross, I think primarily we got the ball. The back nose of the football is almost on the goal line. It's within 1,000th of an inch of the goal line, and the front nose, of course, 8 or 9 inches out.
Tennessee fans are booing in the end zone, Larry, because they feel that the running back actually crossed the plane, but the official saw it and says no, and now Georgia huddling in their end zone.
Watch the sign for a safety. He hasn't given it yet. It looked like the snap was not good, and it looked like a back. Yes, safety against us. Georgia keeps on dropping the ball and dropping the ball. Again, the exchange not quite good. We recovered the ball about a foot in the end zone. It's 2-0 Tennessee. Well, Georgia shanked a little 15-yard punt off the right side of a shoe after fumbling twice on the Tennessee 20 or 21. And Tennessee finally got down there, and the Dogs held within an inch or so of the goal line and then fumbled it. Womack tried to pick the ball up behind Buck when it was a foot or two in the end zone and sneak it out in there and couldn't do it. They saw him. Tennessee up to the line, Lee North. Their great offensive center from Atlanta. They're in a power I. Dogs are in a 6-5 again on second down. Goal to go on the 4. And Olszewski keeps it and slips outside. Touchdown! Good fake. Fullback up the middle. Running back leaning a little right, and he spun out right. He almost fell on the 2-yard line. He had to kind of throw himself in. Tennessee leads 8-0 in the middle of the second quarter here. They've been stopped on a 1-inch line. Georgia's been stopped out twice around the 20. Duncan to try the extra point, 8-man line. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. Tennessee 9, Georgia nothing. Pause 30 seconds. 9-0 Tennessee leading. In an I, 2 men split. Tennessee's in a 4-4. Buck Bellew going to take it. Fakes to the tail and looks. He threw to Herschel Walker, caught on the 37. He dodged a man on the 40, up to the 44, 45, and they ran him out. Herschel Walker did stay in. He had started out. He had to catch it high. He was just 4 or 5 yards in front of Bellew. He had to jump out there in a 37 or 8 to catch it and wound up on the 45. Wilbert Jones, Bill Bates, a free safety, and a cornerback. Wilbert Jones, a cornerback, hit him first. Now they're going to say he went out on the 44. Clock now says 1:55, 9-0 Tennessee. Dogs need a yard or so for a first down. The back came delayed out of the backfield and caught the pass. We go to Walker, trying to stiff arm a man. He got outside for 4 or 5. Handkerchief down, and then another one a moment later. Herschel dodged the man and stiff-armed him and came out and got 6 or 7 yards out around the left. He's showing a little bit signs of making moves. But I believe we've got a penalty against Georgia to wipe it out. We're in an I, 2 men spread. We go to Walker trying to come up the middle. He spun around to the 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Herschel just kept turning around and spinning. Not enough room to run, so he went spinning. He's doing some things he did not do in high school, men. And he just got about 8 yards, almost to the 37. Mike Castile, the defensive end, hit him. That's where Ingram, a star defensive end, would be playing, but he's hurt. Arnold wide to the right. Lindsey Scott out to the left. Tennessee's in a 4-4, and the 4 linebackers are back about 3 yards or so. Thinking we're going to throw it. Second down. We fake a draw. Buck looking. He's in trouble. Official had to dive to get out of the way. They sacked him way back on the 35. Long loss. Lost about 18 yards back to the 33 or 4. Lamont Jeffers, the right side backer. An official had to literally dive to get out of his way. Buck almost ran over him.
Buck wanted to throw the ball down the right side just to unload it to get rid of it, but then when he spotted the fact that the secondary had rotated that way, there was all kind of coverage there, and he didn't dare put it up in the air, so he just ended up swallowing the football.
And they tell us that's the end of the half. Broken clock at all. It kind of snuck up in there. Tennessee leading 9-0 at the half. Georgia's sort of a 4-3. Olszewski out to the right, stops, going to throw down the middle. There he is. Touchdown. Miller, 36 yards, Tennessee touchdown. He broke wide open in the middle. Wide open right in the middle. 15-0 Tennessee. And I'll guarantee you there's a stunned, crushed 9,000 Georgia fans over there just really down with this thing now. We may have timeout Tennessee here. Timeout. Tennessee leading 15-0. That's the second time tonight the Vols have had somebody open down the middle, roughly 30-odd yards. The other pass wasn't thrown well, but Olszewski laid this one right on the money. The guy's got a pretty good arm. I know that Streeter did a lot of heroics for him last year and part of the year before that. And he threw it well, but he was mostly a runner. This guy, flat, throws the ball pretty good. Tennessee going for 2. They lead 15-0. Rolling up yardage on us now. We're in a 6-5. We got a man out with a wide receiver, and they try to run him at left guard. They try to run Glenn Ford. We just knocked him upside down. Watch a flag down, however. There is a flag down in the play. They went for 2 and tried to surprise us by cracking in at their own left tackle, which we knocked down about a yard behind the line. The right side of our line just stood up in there. And now there's an official discussion. We're going to give them another shot at it? I don't know. Tennessee's not acting that way. Tennessee leading 15-0 with 4 minutes in the third quarter. They've hit 2 deep passes tonight, a 31-yarder and a 36-yarder that has really hurt the Dogs. Penalty would have been on Tennessee. Pause here, 30 seconds. 4th and 5, and young Jim Broadway to kick with 8 men coming on him. And the kick is good, long, going to come down inside the 30, and we hit him. He fumbled the ball, and the Dog missed it. It's rolling to 10, to 7, to 5. We fumble it again. We fumble it. It's in the end zone. Get on that ball. It's on the back of the end zone. We had 3 men knock it 20 yards. We'd land on it on our chest. We landed on it with our heads, and it went 20 more yards. Now they argue who got it as it went out of bounds.
Tennessee touched it last.
They're not acting happy at all. Twice, it was Joe Happy, the center, who cracked it out of the return man. It went 20 yards behind him. Georgia had men diving on the ball, but because of the artificial turf, it was bouncing. It kept rolling and rolling. There's a long discussion going and no sign given, though Tennessee is coming off on one side of the field and the Dogs on the other, and the officials, all 6 of them, still talking. Safety. Well, they gave us 2 points, and we could have scored on the play. Very, very, very easy. People just diving on it, and it would squirt 9 more yards, and somebody else would land on it, it would squirt again. This has not been a night for old Lady Luck. All right, Tennessee, free kick. Good kick. Very, very high. Very, very long. Warner, back. On the 18, 17, way back there. 20, 25, 30. Around the 34. There's a flag down after the play. Something may have happened. That was Mike Fisher and not Scott Warner. There may have been a personal foul after the play. Was there a late hit? I don't know. The officials are talking. That was Mike Fisher. Kid out of Jacksonville, Florida, not Scott Warner. Penalty on Tennessee, 15 yards. Apparently a piling in thing. So the Dogs have got field position, and they're 13 down instead of 15. 2 men split out. Tennessee's in a 4-3. The linebackers double shifted. Ballou back to throw. Throws, and it's complete on the 29. Lindsey Scott over the 20, fighting his way down to the 16. Good catch by Lindsey Scott right above his right hip. Got 5 extra yards. Buck Ballou threaded a needle on that one. That is what they have needed. 24 yards exactly to the 16, and the Dogs are knocking on the door. Spratt on the linebacker. From one side, Greg Gaines, a safety man, caught him head on. Georgia knocking on the door. They're on the Tennessee 16. Tennessee has dominated this one. They gave us a break. We couldn't use it. Then we gave them a couple. 15-2, Tennessee leading. Crowd roaring against Georgia, trying to make them drop it so they can't hear. We hand it off to Herschel. There's a hole. 5, 10, 12. He's running over people. Oh, you Herschel Walker. My God almighty, he ran right through 2 men. Herschel ran right over 2 men. They had him dead away inside the 9. Herschel Walker went 16 yards. He drove right over orange shirts, just driving and running with those big thighs. My God, a freshman. 15-8. You think this isn't big right here? Do you realize what has happened in this thing tonight? Tennessee in a 7-4, and Rex sticks it up, and it's in there. Good. Timeout on the field. 15-9, pause, 30 seconds, Georgia Football Network. Dogs are in a 4-4. Tennessee, second down, a long 8 to go. Olszewski turns, he cuts inside the tackle, he fumbled the ball. Everybody dives on the 37. Georgia's got the ball, I think. Jeff Hipp, I believe, dove on that ball. Somebody knocked it out of his arm as he came across the 30 and rolled 5 or 6 yards forward and to the right. Georgia got the ball in the 37 with 17 seconds. 15-9, Tennessee leading, and the Dogs are going to line up on a 37. Buck Bellew slowly walking out there. Tennessee's defense, with all that quickness, they recover well. They weren't prepared for a tank the last time. Unall comes up over the ball. 17 seconds in the third quarter. 15-9, wide slot to the right. Tennessee's in a 5-2, secondary back a little. And Buck Bellew going to fake it and run to the right and throws complete around the 29. A low diving catch over on our right to Amp Arnold. Arnold came way across over to the right. He had a secondary back 1.5 yards behind him. Good low sprawling catch, and we got about 8 yards. And that may be the end of the third quarter. It is. End of the third quarter. Tennessee 15, Georgia 9, back in 60 seconds. Third down and 2 inches. You realize we made a goal line stand on the 1.5 inch line tonight and then immediately fumbled the ball. Tennessee tight in a 6-2. We need a couple of inches. So we go to Herschel Walker, and he drove through. They hit him behind the line, and he got his legs going and went over right guard and got 3 yards. How did he do that? Did you see him? He hit that Brad White, that big tackle, and somehow they hit him behind the line, maybe 6-8 inches, and Herschel went to the 23. Tennessee a little more spread with a 5-2, now almost a 5-4. And Bellew fakes, and he comes sprinting out. He's going to run 23-20, 18-17, got a block 15-13. Amp Arnold came back and blocked a man high up there around the shoulders back in the 15-16, and Buck got a good run to the 14. Danny Martin hit him in great gains. Right cornerback on a strong safety. It's third down and 2/3 of a yard to go. Take Arnold out. Charles Jr. splits to the right. Tennessee trying to hang on to a 15-9 lead early here in the fourth quarter. And Buck's going to turn around. Herschel coming outside to tackle, driving over the 10 down to the 8. 2 men holding on to him on the 12 and the 11, but he had his momentum enough. And the gain on the play was about 5.5, just up to the 8. Mike Castile, the end, primarily getting him. Georgia goal to go, and they got 8 1/3 now, 8 1/4 yards to go. We're going to arrest Womack, but we aren't going to arrest what's-his-name. Womack goes out. Stewart has come in. We need 8 1/fraction yards. Goal to go, 15-9, Tennessee. 12-12 to go. They're in an eye. 1 man wide. Tennessee shoulder to shoulder in a 6-4. And we pitch it to Herschel Walker. Watch the flags down. Did we take too much time again? Did we blow it again on offense? We have really been doing that again tonight. We had a big sweep going with 2 blockers, and we're going to try to run that kid out. 11:30 to play. Electric scoreboard flashing the words defense. Tennessee trying to hang on to a 6-point lead. Slot with an eye. Tennessee crashing off one side. We pitch it to Herschel. Going to get him out. 10-8, 7-5. Herschel Walker. Tennessee guessed the other side. We went to the short side and pitched it to that kid out of Johnson County. He got a block in front of him out around the 6 or 7 and got inside of it and went in the corner standing. Give the guy some rest. It's 15-15. My God, what's going to happen in the next 11 minutes and 16 seconds? Robinson to try the extra point. Tennessee 7 men on the line. 1 man's going to jump in the middle, and Rex sticks it up, and the kick is good. For the first time tonight, Georgia 16, Tennessee 15. Pause 60 seconds, Georgia Football Network. Georgia leading 16-15 after trailing 15-0 and getting shoved around and making some mistakes. Tennessee's in a 5-4, the nose guard on top of Unall. We go to the fullback, no room, flag down. There could be a grab at a face mask, though I'm guessing we try to run Stewart in the middle, and the flag flew immediately while 2 or 3 men were wrestling him 3.5 yards behind the line. Now, let's see. No, holding on Georgia. Offensive penalty, Georgia retreating inside of the 10. Man, has that whistle cracked in the night.
Now, the official gave the signal for holding here, Larry. There are now 2 different signals, one for the illegal use of the hands, but this is the holding. This is the 15-yard penalty here.
This is going to really hurt. The Dogs lined up on the 20. They jammed Stewart up right there. And here comes a long penalty against Georgia, who's now huddling on a goal line. Dogs have been penalized back to their own 10. 90 yards away from it. 9:25 to play and only leading 1 point, 16-15. Crowd roaring at the Dogs. They want him to drop the snap again. Tennessee in a 5, and their nose guard slammed into our center. Tennessee really jumped across. Though they stay close to the officials, now it'll be a penalty against Tennessee. We were first down and 20. 16-15. Tennessee wide, slot right, short man flank, 7 yards left. The backs are split. And they come up on second down. Olszewski floating to the right. He fires. Wide open, complete at the 44, and they hit him right away on the 37. Anthony Hancock down on the right side. In Georgia territory, inside the 40. Here comes Tennessee pegging it again. 2 men in short. They barely split, 1 man wide to the left. Olszewski looking. He fakes a draw. He's back to throw over the middle. Wide open, complete in the 20, and they hit him on the 18. They had 2 men in that zone. Willie Gault reaching high. Nate Taylor hit him. Scott Warner hit him. 17 more yards. Taylor and Warner. That was Anthony Hancock, not Willie Gault. There was 2 men there. Ball on the 18 and a half. Tennessee threatening to score and take the lead back. We haven't had the lead long, have we? 5:29, 5:28. What kind of a year is this going to be? 5-3 defense. And Olszewski to the man in the middle. Right up goes Berry all the way to the 9. They ran up the gut. They haven't done that much. Chris Welton from Atlanta, the rover back, had to yank him down. He got 9.5, I think. It's on the 9. It's second down and about 2 feet. 4:54-49, 16-15. Georgia leading Tennessee. What a comeback we made, but here's Tennessee trying to save themselves. They're on the 9. And Olszewski follows the running back, and we hit him on the 5.5 and knock him back, but he got a big first down. He followed the running back in on the left side where they had pushed their men back, their left guard, left tackle. He went in there, and he got 4 yards and a first down. Goal to go, Tennessee. 5.5 to go. Frank Ross, the man primarily on the stop. Ball on the 5.5-yard line. 4:22 to go. Georgia leading 16-15. Tennessee trying to save himself here. Balls come up to the line. Olszewski behind it. We're in a 6-5. They put a man in motion. They pitch it to the tail. He fumbles. It rolls around. Everybody dives. I think Georgia's got the ball on the 2-yard line. We cracked it out of his hands. Georgia's caught the ball. About the 2, it squirted up in the air, and somebody dove on it in the secondary. Was it Pat McShay, the end?
It was Pat McShay.
McShay landed on it. They pitched to the tail with a man in motion and ran a sweep with a couple of blockers. He cut inside. He penetrated 4 yards. Eddie Weaver and Joe Crimmins hit him. Georgia's got the ball on the 1.5. Oh, God, look at the clock. 4:02, and it's on a 1.5. And the last time we had the ball down here, you remember what we did wrong. We're on a 1.5, and Tennessee now will line it up shoulder to shoulder and come after us. Dogs are on their own 5, 2:53, 2:52. It's 16-15, Georgia leading. Watch the time. They took a long huddle, their third down, and about 7 and a fraction. A full 7. There it is. Penalty on Georgia. Too much time. I knew it. You could see it coming. We've done it time after time to ourselves tonight. Look at Tennessee up on the line. 7 men. Young Broadway going to kick. Spiral high. High coming down on the Tennessee 47. Is that Willie Gault coming to the sideline? We drive him out of bounds on the 49. God, look at the clock. 110 seconds. Clarence Key out of South Carolina, the man primarily responsible for shoving him out. It's 16-15. Broadway, 48 yards. Can you imagine that? He got it up high enough and long enough. Tennessee's on our 49. In fact, the front nose of the football is maybe 3-4 inches shy of the 49. Watch the clock. Miles out and Bobo in. We're in the 4-2, almost a 5 now. Tennessee fairly long count this time on third down. Olszewski going to throw, and we hit him as he threw the ball. There's a pile up, and we got it on their 49, but it's incomplete. Was that Tommy Thurston? Was that young linebacker that just did that? Who hit him?
That was Chris Welton that hit him as Welton came in there, and they shot the rover back that time.
Chris Welton was the man that hit him, and then Thurston curled on the ball and thought we had it. Incomplete. 68 seconds, fourth down. What kind of a play does Tennessee pull here to get a first down and keep it going? 4th and 7. 68 seconds, a clock stop. We hit him as his arm came forward and the ball squirted 3-4 feet in front of him, and Thurston dove on it. It was incomplete. Watch the clock. 16-15, Georgia. Back split, slot to the left. Dogs up in the 5, really. And Olszewski needs to dump a short one. We chase him back, and we grabbed at him. Did the whistle blow? Watch it. Do we have a delay penalty first? The play started to unfold. We had the pressure on him. Had time been called?
No,
delay penalty.
They're signaling a penalty against Tennessee.
That's what it is. Tennessee took too much time, and the Dogs had pressure on Olszewski going off to the left side, though he was slowing down. He realized it. 5-yard penalty back to the 48.5. Freddie Gilbert or Griffin back in there again, now on the left side. I'm guessing with special instructions. Dogs 4 men on the line. We come up with each man in a corner almost. We're close to having a 6. And Olszewski, and we sack him back in the 40. Gilbert came crashing in. Jimmy Payne and Freddie Gilbert got him, and he lost about 8. And the Dogs are delirious. We've got the ball on the Tennessee 40. It's 16-15 with 63 seconds to go. Georgia up to the line. Power I. Tennessee up in there. 7 men on the line. And Buck curls over the ball, and somebody tried to blitz between Morrison and all. And look at the clock. Oh, look at the clock. They have come back, and they beat Tennessee 16-15. Dogs have saved themselves despite mistakes. Just, it's hard to describe because Olszewski threw it so well, and he had fast receivers, and at times, yes, he did. He had people open, and he dumped it short and hard and fast, and Georgia came back and won. Do you realize that one run when that kid ran over those people, how big that was? And the goal line stand on the 1-inch line, even though he gave up a safety right away. 16-15, Georgia winner. Phil Schaefer will have more for you in 60 seconds.